Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Geo Group's Outlook. This time it's for milestone 16.1. My name is Sampath Ranasinghe, and I'm the product manager for the Geo Group. So we'll start with moving existing data types into the self-service framework. The self-service framework is a single framework through which we can manage multiple data types. The goal is to manage all data types that Geo replicates and verifies through this framework. We have a couple of data types that precede this framework, the projects and design repositories, and we want to move this into the self-service framework so that it makes it easier for us to maintain and also add new features in the future. The self-service framework also makes it easier for us to add new data types in the future as well. Next up is GitLab silent mode. It is important for any disaster recovery solution to be tested, both the solution and the procedures that surround it. One way to achieve this is to promote a secondary site and perform recovery testing against this site. While keeping the primary site available to the business and completely functional. Performing testing against such a secondary site, as you can imagine, will generate outbound traffic, such as email notifications, traffic on the webhooks, or traffic through push mirrors. We want to avoid this as it can cause confusion and a disruption to upstream services or users. Silent mode is intended to suppress these communications from the GitLab instance that is under test. This is a cross-stage effort, and the Geo team will be coordinating the effort with other stage groups to deliver this capability. We have already completed the API setting controls and implemented blocking of outgoing emails. Over the next couple of milestones, we'll look to make progress on blocking other outbound communications, such as mirroring and webhook traffic. Next is improving backups and restore documentation for our self-managed customers. Backups are an important part of any good disaster recovery strategy. They help protect against malicious or unintentional data corruption by allowing data to be restored at a particular point back in time. Backups are complementary to Geo's DR solution, providing protection against corruption that may be replicated from the primary site to the secondary site. Our backup solution documentation has grown over time, and there are multiple solutions we have documented across multiple pages. So we hope to consolidate the documentation and provide updated guidance on best practices for our self-managed customers. We'll be enhancing the documentation to cater for customers on large reference architecture. So that's 3K and above reference architectures, and also customers with large data sets. So we have successfully validated our proposed approach for customers with large data sets and large architectures. Next steps will be to review the results with internal stakeholders before proceeding to update the documentation. And then next up is fixing the SSH proxying timeout for push requests. So currently there is a 60-second timeout when a push request is proxied from the secondary to the primary. As you can imagine, this timeout is too low for large push requests, and it ends up in a failed transaction. And this is impeding the adoption of Geo to accelerate remote teams at some customers. So the solution will likely be, solution is actually an architectural change where we are shifting the workflow from Puma, which is imposing the 60-second timeout, to GitLab Shell. And there's lots of work that has already progressed on this front. We've encountered a couple of issues that we are troubleshooting, and we hope to resolve in the very near future, so that we can get this out into our customers' hands. Next is allowing GA runners to accelerating runners via secondary sites, secondary geosites. Allowing runners to clone and retrieve data from secondary geosites will allow customers to reduce the load on the primary site. A number of customers have shown interest in doing so, and in one of the previous milestones, we undertook to test the ability for runners to clone from a secondary site and identified a number of issues that would prevent this from working successfully. So we are looking to address these issues over the next few milestones, and also have a spike to assess any further gaps that need to be addressed before we make this an actually supported capability and feature in Geo. We are also working on verifying object storage. GitLab Geo already replicates object storage via its own native mechanism. This is something we GA'd a couple of milestones ago. However, we do not support object storage verification. To complete the circle, we will add GitLab Manage verification to complement the replication capabilities we already have. Verification of object storage will protect customers against data loss in the event of a failover. It will also help speed up the process of reattaching a demoted primary site as a secondary site by avoiding the need to re-replicate object storage data from the new primary site to the secondary site. And as we make progress towards 100% completion, 100% verification of all core GitLab data that we have replicated, we will also add verification to group wikis. So this will be the last remaining data type we need to add verification to, and it will get us to 100% of replicated verification of 100% of replicated data. And that concludes our outlook for 16.1. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.